Today on Way I Got It Figured, we're looking at Retro Card Cover Girl. Let's check her out.
The Way I Got It Figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured back with another G.I.Joe Classified Series Retro Card review. This time we're looking at Cover Girl, Courtney Cover Girl Kreiger to be exact. And this figure is based off her 1983 G.I. Joe Real American Hero cartoon appearance. In that 5-part special, she was blonde, she had a green outfit, and she helped save the day with good old timber. And this figure is a really nice representation of that, yet it's still, it's still Cover Girl. So we're going to go over it real quick, give you my impressions. So as I said, this is her cartoon appearance, but they've done a lot with this figure. It's not actually a straight redo of the original Cover Girl, as you'll see when I do a comparison with the other Cover Girl. She does come with some of the same things that she came with before, but most of her parts are new parts. When I say new, I mean they're not parts that she came with previously. So starting off with those parts, we've got her now included XLMR3 laser rifle. We've got her pistol. I don't know if this is a silencer or whatever this is, but it's the same pistol that the original Cover Girl came with. With a fresh coat of paint. She comes with the wrench the original Cover Girl came with. 2 fisted hands. A second portrait where she's got a hat and a straight face. And the sledgehammer. And the sledgehammer came with the Hiss tank first. And of course, as a retro card figure, she does come with the G.I. Joe figure stand. So, like I said, not everything's the same. The figure's not the same either, even though they do have a similar look. So as near as I can tell, all of her parts are new to Cover Girl. The jacket is new, and the only part she's really retaining from the original figure is the shirt and therefore abdomen. The abdomen and the shirt are the same. Everything else is different. Taking a look at her portrait up close, she's smiling, and I do think they did a passable job of making her look like she could be the same person to the old one, even though the other one's like sort of like dolled up with makeup and everything. The only difference being this one has eyes that are farther set apart, but you'll see that here in a bit. Looks pretty cool all the way around. Less high tech than the original Cover Girl. And then she does have 2 heads, but both of them are 2 parts. So as you can see, she's got the blonde hair here, but you can remove it. And the reason you can remove it is because you've got this head, and you can remove those as well. So you can mix and match the heads, basically. So for now, we'll keep her like this. And I think she's a good looking figure. I think they did a good job with it. So next thing I'm going to do is get her dolled up a little bit, how I would like to probably display her, and then we'll do some comparisons. Okay, so we got Cover Girl geared up. Pretty much how I'll probably keep this one. I like the mechanic aspect of it, especially since the other Cover Girl seems to be like a little bit more like time has gone forward, experienced, and she's like more in control, or in a sense, more combat ready. Say what you will about the head sculpt, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I think it's cool. I like the two-fisted hands because then you can sort of have her punching out clutch or something, or shipwreck, as it were, depending on how you want to roll with that. And I think she looks nice. So next, we'll get into some comparisons with the other CoverGirl. Okay, so here she is with herself. The original single release CoverGirl. I think she's like in the late 40s or early 50s. And that figure was cool. Of course, there was the controversy, oh, she's not pretty enough, yada yada. People weirdly care about how pretty an action figure is. But as you can see, they're not exactly the same. Like I said, they're not rocking the same legs. They're not rocking the same boots. They're not rocking the same jacket. The only thing that is in common is the shirt. And that's it. But they did do a passable job with the head sculpts. The nose is lined up the same way, but this one is definitely wearing a lot of makeup, and this one is no makeup because she's a grease monkey. But I like both figures. I like how they're like kind of like two different, completely different looks for the same character. One doing a role, more of a role in one aspect than the other one is in that point in that character's career. I kind of like that. So I'm definitely gonna keep this one more with like the older Joe's, the OG 13, 83 guys, and then this one would be more like the contemporary CoverGirl. So next, we'll take a look at the package before we move on to final thoughts. Taking a look at CoverGirl's packaging, she is, on a retro card, and this is what you're going to get with the retro cards. Now it seems like they're using these weird AI photos instead of just having somebody draw the character, which I don't know, just seems like they're just trying to save money where it's not necessary. But we have her packaging, and she's cool in there. All of her accessories. She comes with about half of what she came with before, and about half new. So no, maybe less than half. The wrench and the pistol she came with before. The XLMR3, Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Card Courtney, Cover Girl, Kreiger. I think they did a great job with this figure. Cover Girl, I would say it's an improvement over the other figure, even though it's not an improvement in the sense that I would have one over the other, because they're like completely different flavors of Cover Girl. So, she's not using like Lady J's legs and boots and that kind of stuff, is what I mean by an improvement. But she's also a retro card figure. So I'm gonna have her hanging out more along the lines with the original 13 Joes and that sort of thing. Whereas the other Cover Girl is like, even though she's a take on the original toy, she's a more modernized version of Cover Girl who, clearly started going into battle more and doing more field work kind of stuff. So, I think they both have their place, and I like this Cover Girl. I do. As far as where I got a figure rank, I'm gonna give it a 9. I really think it's really, really good. They did a good job with this one. Sometimes the retro card figures are retro cards of the original toy. Sometimes they're takeoffs of how they were on the show. This one is a takeoff of how she was in the Mass Device episode series of G.I. Joe, and it definitely has that nostalgic feel to it. So that's all I got on this one. Hope you guys like the new format. Trying to switch things up, see how it works out, and hopefully you guys like it. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. We're not even close to done with G.I. Joe Classified series. Not even in terms of like things I plan to get, things I actually have that I haven't gotten around to reviewing. So, like I said, we got Retro Card Flint. I mentioned that. I got Monkey Wrench, Cobra Commander, a couple of other things, G.I. Joe Classified series wise that I got to go over. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to leave it there. Till next time, everybody stay safe, happy collected. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.